Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we talk about 10 more horror movies that I highly recommend. So the other day, the channel broke 75,000 subscribers, and I just want to give a huge thank you to you guys. I appreciate you so much. There's no way this channel would be anything at all without you guys. And so now we're into the home stretch on the big goal, which is 100,000 subscribers. So if you're new to the channel and you're liking what you're seeing, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. That is the best way to keep track of this channel and everything that I upload. But with that, let's get to the list.
And no finish line.
The Long Walk is a 2025 dystopian psychological horror movie. Directed by Francis Lawrence with a script written by J.T. Molnar. It's based on the 1979 novel by Stephen King and stars Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, and Mark Hamill. A group of teenage boys compete in an annual contest known as the Long Walk, where they must maintain a certain walking speed or be shot.
Second warning. Third warning.
So The Long Walk is one of those movies that really sticks with you and lingers after it's over. I saw it last night and I found myself even today still mulling it over and over in my head. It's brutal, raw, and violent. It's also heartbreaking and emotional while also being profound in its symbolism. It's a mostly dialogue-driven movie that has moments of intensity, but for the most part, it's this pressure cooker where it slowly builds the dread and the anxiety, and it makes you feel exhausted along with the characters. So it's a slow and prodding, disturbing kind of watch. It's atmospheric and layered with this heavy sense of doom that just builds more and more as the story unfolds. The pacing is deliberate and none of the shots feel wasted. Everything feels like there's a reason behind it. Just every frame feels intentional. Like the director wants you to sit with the silence and the tension instead of rushing through it. It's beautifully shot and artfully put together, and the performances are really strong across the board. Every one of them feels grounded. Every character plays an important role. Even if it's a small one, it all feels like it's part of the bigger picture. So none of the characters feel wasted. But the real standout is David Johnson. Holy fuck, he's good in this. I was impressed with him in Alien Romulus, but this, he really gets a chance to shine and show his emotional range. I mean, honestly, this movie is worth seeing just for his performance alone. He's charismatic and fun and entertaining and brings you some laughs, but he also breaks your heart with his emotional journey. But this is a raw, emotional movie with lots of depth and meaning. And even though it is an entertaining movie, it's not a fun watch by any means. It's painful, but has an important message, I think, that's profound as well as needed. So for the right audience, this is one that I highly recommend.
He's an ugly son of a bitch, though.
The Toxic Avenger is a 2023 splatter black comedy horror movie, written and directed by Macon Blair. It stars Peter Dinklage, Elijah Wood, and Kevin Bacon. A horrible toxic accident transforms a downtrodden janitor into a new evolution of the Toxic Avenger.
You're not a monster. Show him your good heart.
Hey, buddy, I'm your dad.
This one is the complete polar opposite of what I was saying about The Long Walk. This one's an absolute blast, full of chaotic energy that's over the top, gory, and ridiculous, but in the best way possible. It's colorful and rich in creativity. You could tell that everyone involved really cared about this and put all of themselves into it. So it's very apparent what a labor of love this is. There's so much attention and care put into every detail. And I love how it never takes itself too seriously and really leans into the campy roots. But it still does a great job of looking slick and updated and modern. And the practical effects are insane. But there's this rebellious punk attitude, this indie kind of attitude that runs through the whole thing. So you can really feel the trauma influences here without being as messy and being much more polished. And so I think they did a great job of balancing those two ways of making film. But if you enjoy over-the-top splatter horror that is very clearly made for the fans and not for making a profit, this is one you absolutely need to see. Cronos is a 1992 Mexican horror movie, written and directed by Guillermo del Toro. It stars Federico Luppi, Ron Perlman, and Claudio Brook. A mysterious device designed to provide its owner with eternal life resurfaces after 400 years, leaving a trail of destruction in its path. So this is Guillermo del Toro's first film. And damn, you can already see the DNA of what's to come. This is just so full of atmosphere, and what stands out for me the most is how it balances horror with something deeply emotional, dark, and creepy, but done in this beautifully rich way. And you could see in this how much Del Toro loves monsters, not just as creatures, but as tragic figures. And so you can see why he wanted so badly to make Frankenstein, which he did, and comes out this November, and I just can't wait to see what he does. But this movie is so intense, emotional, but the practical effects and the body horror are gritty, but extremely well done. Everything feels lived in, like these real objects in real moments. This is an elegant, haunting movie, and if you're a fan of Guillermo del Toro, it's an absolute must-see.
What do you think?
I'm back in New York.
Dexter Resurrection is a 2025 crime mystery thriller series developed by Clyde Phillips. It's a sequel to the series Dexter New Blood and the original Dexter series. It stars Michael C. Hall, Kristen Ritter, Peter Dinklage, and Uma Thurman. Dexter awakens from a coma and sets out to New York City, determined to find his son and make things right.
Welcome. I cannot express how excited I am to meet you.
You really like serial killers.
I pride myself on finding the best of the best in every field.
So I wasn't sure what to expect at all when this series was announced, because I kind of felt burned by the last series and the way that the main series ended in general. But I couldn't help myself. I had to check this out because I was such a fan of the original series. And holy hell, it was surprisingly good. Almost great, I'd say. For me, it's the best season of Dexter since season 4 with the Trinity Killer. It doesn't feel like a cheap cash grab at all. The writing is really sharp this time, and the tension is dialed up to a way that actually feels true to the character of Dexter. It has that mix of gruesome kills and psychological chess games that made the original series so addictive. What I appreciated about it the most is how it feels like a proper continuation of the story. They were actually able to fix some of the issues with the past seasons because of the way this was written. And that is what surprised me the most. And if you had told me that they would be able to do that, I would have never thought they could pull that off. But they did surprisingly well. So it's not only a fantastic season on its own, but it makes the past few seasons feel better and sets up things great for future seasons. And I also really appreciated that they had these cameos with these characters from throughout the show's history. But none of it felt forced. None of it felt like fan service at all. All of them made sense on being there and why they were there and the situations that they were there. It all made a lot of sense. But if you love the original series and were burned by the ending or even the last season, this one really does a great job of redeeming it. It's one that I highly, highly recommend. Creature Walks Among Us is a 1956 monster horror movie directed by John Sherwood. It's the third and final installment of the Creature from the Black Lagoon trilogy and stars Rex Reason, Lee Snowden, and Jeff Morrow. A scientist captures the creature and turns it into an air breather, only for it to escape and start killing.
Gentlemen, the creature can be changed. We can make the giant step and bring a new species into existence.
This is one of those classic Universal monster movies that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. It's the third Creature from the Black Lagoon movie, and while it's a little different from the first two, it probably is my favorite. The themes in it are darker with a powerful message about the fear of man messing with nature, which when this was made makes it hit even harder. I also love the creative design of the creature in this one. It has a real strange, uncanny valley look to it. It's just very unique in the way that it evolves in this one. This one is also more of a slow burn sci-fi horror hybrid, but it still has that iconic Universal atmosphere to it. It's a tragic story that has depth to it, and I think it's a very overlooked classic that you should definitely add to your list.
Shucks.
I'm nothing like you.
Dangerous Animals is a 2025 survival horror movie directed by Sean Byrne. It stars Jai Courtney, Hassie Harrison, and Josh Houston. When a savvy and free-spirited surfer is abducted by a shark-obsessed serial killer, she must figure out a way to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below.
What is this? Where are we?
We're on his boat.
Whose boat?
I don't think you want to know.
This movie is wild. It really surprised me too because it is so much better than I expected. I talked about it a few months back when it first came out in theaters, but I wanted to mention it again today because it just was added to Shudder last week. And the cast is great in this, but especially Jai Courtney. He is incredible in this role. So weird and over the top. He's one of the more fun killers I've seen in a while. He's charismatic and evil in a super fun way to where you can't take your eyes off of him. But I think he's really the main reason to check this out. The movie also has a lot more weight to it than you'd expect. It's not just some simple brainless slasher, but it's also not some crazy highbrow movie either to where you want to have fun with it. I think it strikes a really great balance. Another thing I really love about this is how the sharks are used in it, because it's not exactly a shark-focused movie, but instead it's a slasher with sharks being used as the weapon, and I just think that's such a cool idea. It's also a really great looking movie too. The shot choices, the location, the cinematography, just in general, it's a really well done movie. It's a slick, modern looking movie, but it's also gritty and violent. So if you're looking for a unique slasher with a twist, this is a fantastic pick.
The most terrifying experiment in the history of science is out of control.
Altered States is a 1980 sci-fi horror movie. Directed by Ken Russell, it stars William Hurt, Bob Balaban, and Blair Brown. A psychophysiologist experiments with drugs and a sensory deprivation tank, and has visions he believes to be genetic memories.
What happens during these blackout periods is you get the feeling of phenomenal acceleration, like you're being shot out over millions, billions of years. Time simply obliterates.
This one is so damn good. It's wild because I could have swore I had seen this, and I might have, but it's just been so long that I pretty much forgot it. But either way, when I watched it this week, it felt like I was watching it for the first time. But it's mind-bending horror at its best. What I love about it is how experimental and ambitious it is, because the visuals in it are just wild, and it still holds up way better than you would expect. The whole thing feels like a fever dream. It's one of those movies where you're not entirely sure what's real and what isn't. And it takes these twists and turns that keeps you guessing, making it so captivating. Also, the cast in general in this is really great. But Blair Brown is amazing in this. Really a big standout for me. It's crazy because I recognized her from the series Fringe, and that's like the only thing I remember seeing this actress in. I definitely don't remember seeing her young, but she was just so good in this. It's just wild to me how good she was in this movie, and yet it's not one you hear talked about. But this is bold, especially for when it came out. It was definitely ahead of its time. It dives into themes of science, spirituality, and identity in a way that still feels fresh and original. Like, it really feels like it could have been just released by A24. So if you're a fan of psychological body horror and have never seen this one, do yourself a favor and make this the next thing that you watch.
What is the point?
Rebirth is a 2023 psychological horror movie, directed by Laura Moss in her directorial debut. It stars Maren Ireland, Judy Reyes, and AJ Lister. A morgue technician successfully reanimates the body of a little girl, but to keep her breathing, she will need to harvest biological materials from pregnant women. This movie is dark and disturbing and really captivating. It's basically a modern take on the Frankenstein story, but with a really raw and emotional core to it. But what really stands out for me is how grounded it feels. The performances are intense and the atmosphere is bleak. It doesn't shy away at all from uncomfortable territory, but it's horror with something to say that gets under your skin and really sticks with you. And it's a powerful, bleak, impactful movie that's definitely worth your time. Brightburn is a 2019 superhero horror movie. Directed by David Yarovesky and written by Brian and Mark Gunn, it was also produced by James Gunn. It stars Elizabeth Banks, David Denman, and Jackson A. Dunn. The plot follows a young boy of extraterrestrial origins, reared on Earth, who realizes he has superpowers and uses them with dark intentions.
One night, someone listened.
This is one of the coolest what if concepts ever made, because what if Superman was evil? And the movie delivers on that idea completely. The biggest crime here is that we never got a sequel, never got to see the bigger world and what was possible in this idea. But what really makes it work so well is that it doesn't hold back. The violence is brutal and the kills are creative. And it leans fully into the horror side of the superhero story. Also, the kid playing Brightburn is genuinely terrifying. He does a fantastic job in this role. But the way the story builds tension and keeps you just waiting to see what's going to happen next is really well done. And it's really crazy how much they were able to pull off in this on such a limited budget. Because this wasn't some big $150, $200 million, superhero movie. Like, this was very bare bones production, but they really make the most of it so it doesn't feel like it's lacking. But this is dark, nasty, and a real blast. So if you're looking for a horror movie with a twist, this is one you definitely need to see. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight is a 1995 comedy horror movie. Directed by Ernest Dickerson, it stars Billy Zane, William Sadler, and Jada Pinkett Smith. The story's about high-level demons who collect low-level demons as warriors in an attempt to obtain a key containing the blood of Christ. But the key is guarded by immortal warriors called Demon Knights.
Sex, violence, the kind of thing you could really sink your teeth into.
This movie is pure 1990s horror fun at its best. It's got that Tales from the Crypt attitude and style, so it's campy and gory and full of personality. And Billy Zane is fantastic in this. He steals the show. He's just so over the top and just an really entertaining villain. The effects here are fantastic as well. The pacing is tight, and it's just one of those movies that feels like a wild party from beginning to end. And I really love all the colors. From the deep blue shadows to the neon green demon blood, it's just so vibrant. It's the kind of horror that doesn't hold back from the gore, but it keeps it light with a sense of humor. So it's campy, but in a fun way. But if you want something over the top, but that's still creepy and awesome, this is one you definitely need to see, and I think it's a perfect pick for this Saturday night. So do yourself a favor this weekend, pick one of the movies off of this list, grab your popcorn and your candy, and enjoy! And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button, and remember guys, horror can be fun, and I'll see you all next time!